Well, good morning, my beautiful people. It is so good out here. I want to say good morning to everyone as you guys will be coming into the stream, or after you watch, or when you guys watch this when it was pre-recorded. It is just absolutely gorgeous out here. I want to say welcome to Legal Wars Live. It's your boy Big Ghostwriter. Today is the last day of the month. It is September the 30th. It is 2025. Today we will be talking about President Trump and his meeting with the Democrats. Got some news stories for you guys, and then we're going to go over the content. I'm going to take a few more minutes. I'm going to jump out the way again, and then we're going to get started in just a second, guys. As you guys come in, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for your boy. Like the video. If you guys have not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. So guys, we have to jump into the content, man. Y'all please double tap the screen, Y'all know Big Ghost, man. Big Ghost believe in truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. But look, I will say that I understand the positions of Republicans and Democrats on some issues. I just agree with what I agree with, okay? You follow me so far? So what I'm saying is, if the goal is unity, I understand that a Democrat would take a stand on a certain position and a Republican would take a stand on their position. But still in all, we should focus on unity because that's the goal. So once again, I ask y'all like the video. If you're on a cell phone, you double tap your screen. We're going to go ahead and start cooking. The source today is from the Huff Post, and it was from September 29. And we talking about yesterday, of course, we talking about President Trump and his meeting, President Trump's meeting with the Democrats. It's the first time he sat down and heard their side of the story and what they want. You know what I'm saying? What the Democrats complain is that big, beautiful bill passed, and they said not one of them had a voice in that bill. And they saying they want to fix that. So let's get to it. I think that could help President Trump. And the fact that he heard what they had to say, and they said that he heard them, and you know what I'm saying, they were at least know that he acknowledged their concerns for the first time face to face. You know what I'm saying? That's big. A federal government shutdown appears likely this week, y'all, after President Donald Trump and two top Democrats in Congress failed to reach a spending agreement during a high-stakes meeting at the White House on Monday. Guys, like, I believe in my whole heart that there was no way in the world that they were going to reach a meeting on their first sit-down. They're going to reach an agreement, do you guys agree? I'm saying it's been, 8 months for President Trump as president, and he hadn't sat down with them yet. The goal, I think, is unity. The goal is to see President Trump sitting down with two of the Democratic leaders for the first time in 2025. Like the stream saying, you guys just coming in, I ask y'all like the video. If you on a cell phone, double tap your screen. Like I was just saying, like we understand that Republicans and Democrats feel the way they feel, but still in all, man, there was a frank and direct discussion with the President of the United States and Republican leaders, but significant and meaningful differences remain. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, a Democrat from New York. What's up, Mr. Hakeem? Told reporters after the meeting. Listen, man, I'm gonna say like that, like I'm saying, what Hakeem's saying is right, but we know that there's gonna be differences. This is the first time. Good morning, John Toomey. Good morning, Godson. You guys, y'all like the video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. As the conversation gets started, y'all jump down in the comments and let's get it cracking this morning. Good morning. It's up to the Republicans whether they want to shut down or not, Republican Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said. So we heard from Hakeem Jeffries and we heard from Chuck Schumer. President Trump sit down on Monday with Jeffries, Schumer, and House Speaker Mike Johnson, excuse me, y'all, for just a second. President Trump sit down on Monday with Jeffrey Schumer, House Speaker Mike Johnson, and Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Was his first since becoming president in January. He canceled a meeting with Democrats last week, declaring that no meeting could possibly be productive. President Trump, that's where I disagree with you, sir. You know what I'm saying? I believe that every meeting could be productive. Just the fact that you guys are sitting down together and discussing it is a positive thing. Democrats want Republicans to roll back their $1 trillion cut to Medicaid and also support an extension of expanded tax credits for people who get their health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, which are due to expire at the end of this year. They call the expiration of those subsidies, which Democrats initially passed during the COVID-19 pandemic, a health crisis that will result in insurance premiums skyrocketing for 24 million Americans and 4 million losing their coverage entirely. That's why I'm saying, Mr. John, about unity. And Nika, y'all see what I'm saying? If you think about this, whether Republicans they went and they extended the tax credits or whatever, that's what I'm saying. If you're on the left or the right, to me that's immaterial. But if you think about this, just think about it as a person that isn't a Republican or a Democrat, and you're just looking at a political situation, and you say that some politicians made some laws in which health insurance premiums skyrocketed for 24 million Americans and 4 million losing their coverage entirely. It's not saying 24 million immigrants. It said 24 million Americans. So if you was posed the question, what would happen, or you as a voter, if you was one of those 24 million, or if you knew and understood politics and the history of politics, and when in the midterm elections doesn't in favor the incumbent party anyway, I'm saying you will automatically think that that would be very damaging to the Republicans, right? I mean, even if you got a robust economy, 24 million Americans and 4 million losing their coverage entirely, I'm saying that would hurt the American people, and that would definitely hurt the Republican Party, regardless. So, in my opinion, President Trump listening to this, I mean, he's got to be smart enough to understand with these elections coming up, you can't just redraw lines and just shoo and foo like health insurance premiums skyrocketing for 24 million Americans. You can't shoo and foo 4 million losing their coverage entirely, because 4 million votes mean that Kamala Harris would be president. And on top of that, in the midterm elections, when Republicans aren't going to be as enthused and President Trump isn't going to be on the ballot, if you have any kind of common sense, it looks like the Democrats or the Republicans, will be in for a long winter next winter. As you guys come in the stream, I ask if you have not liked the video that you double tap the screen for me. If you're on the cell phone, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell too. Also, guys, Republicans, independents, Democrats alike, it don't matter. I want to hear your voice this morning. Come join the conversation. Jump down in the chat as we go along, and you guys chat and debate amongst yourselves, and you guys can also chat with me, and I'm gonna jump down there when I get a chance. Okay, we're talking about President Trump and his meeting with the Democrats yesterday. For the first time in 8 months, he met with the Democratic leaders. You know, they're trying to avoid that government shutdown. I don't think they might do that, but we're going to talk about it. The source is the Huffington Post, and it was published yesterday, of course. So before the meeting on Monday, Jeffries insisted Democrats were earnestly seeking a bipartisan policy negotiation. That's what the Democrats are saying. They're saying, hey, y'all passed a piece of legislation this big, and y'all didn't get our voice at all. You know what I'm saying? But to play devil's advocate, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House for the Republicans, he said, hey, man, all we did was we just continued the tax cuts that were already there. You know what I'm saying? And that a shutdown would be a Republican's fault. So, of course, you know, that's the blame game between the Republicans and Democrats. We've made clear that we are willing to find a bipartisan path forward on a spending bill negotiated by Democrats and Republicans. But it has to meet the needs of the American people, Jeffrey said. Republicans control the House and the Senate, and there's a Republican president. If the government shuts down, it's because the Republicans want the government to shut down, okay? Still, several Republicans have seemed open to some of Democrats' demands, and those are those Republicans who are in districts who have a bunch of seniors or a bunch of people. They've looked at the numbers, the stats, and the data that are dependent on that health insurance, and they know what the Democrats are alleging are true or is too close to being true, and that would be very hurtful for the Republicans' opportunity to get and maintain the House. We have that conversation, but before we do, release the hostage, let's have a conversation. I'm certainly open to that. I think we all are, Thune said during an interview in NBC's Meet the Press. So we see that Senator Thune said the Republican leader in the Senate, he's ready to talk with the Democrats. Come on, guys. They talking. The Republicans and the Democrats are talking. President Trump is talking to the Democrats, guys. I mean, this is a missed. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, the murder of one of the conservatives' biggest. This is a missed. You see what I'm saying? And they talking. I'm talking about the former FBI director just got indicted. That's not no small matter. And they talking. That's a good thing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's steps towards peace. That's steps towards unity. It's not going to happen every night. Just keep taking the steps in the right direction. Y'all agree or disagree? Several Republicans have seemed open to some of the Democrats' demand. Okay? Again, Senator Thune said Sunday, there's potentially a path forward on extending Obamacare premium subsidies at a later date with certain reforms. So we see that they're not all the way on the same page, but they talking. And what I want to say, I don't care how you feel. You see what I'm saying? You got to learn how to shake the opponent's hand if they're doing a good job. You're still trying to beat them, but you got to learn how to shake their hand. And right now, the Democrats, they standing all 10 and they fighting. If you ask me, do I think they should shut down the government? I would say no. But if you talk to a Democrat, they would say that 24 million Americans at this time right now with the American economy having higher health premiums and 4 million Americans losing their health insurance completely is an existential threat to the U.S. economy. That's what the Democrats say. And for those 4 million Americans who would not have health care no longer, they would be happy for the Democrats' fight for the working class. They keep using the working class, y'all. So what you guys think? Y'all jump down in the comments. Just please be respectful. I ask that y'all like the video. If you're on a cell phone, double tap your screen. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Also, guys, in this stream, everyone is welcome. I just ask that you guys be respectful to others. I welcome you guys, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats. Jump down in the comments and let your voice be heard. Let's start this conversation. One more thing, guys. We do have to pay the bills. I don't have any sponsors. I'm not taking money from anybody. Don't have a studio. So I just want to let you guys know, super chat, super stickers, super thanks. They start at 99 cents. If you want to donate to the channel, start a conversation, or have your comment read, please hit the button with the $sign in it, and your donations are much appreciated. 7429 says, but do you think the government will shut down? I'm going to continue with the news story, but I appreciate that question. That's a great question. I think they have to pass legislation by Wednesday. So if you ask me, it would just depend on, you know what I'm saying, if the Democrats would be willing to trust the Republicans and give them an opportunity. I don't think they could strike a deal, if that's what you're asking me, by Wednesday, but I might be wrong. But no, I don't think they'll strike a deal by Wednesday. In my opinion, they're too far apart. But I'm saying if one side or both sides, or if they're willing, President Trump, Senator Johnson, if somebody's willing to make a concession and say, hey, I know we just started talking, so this is what we need to do, guys. We need to do this for the people. Our focus is always on the voters and the American people. So what we're going to do is we just going to hold up a second, and we're going to give ourselves a minute, maybe 3 weeks. That's what I think the Republicans said. Just give ourselves some time. The Democrats might have to trust them. You see what I'm saying? If the Republicans are promising high stakes negotiations with President Trump, just like he's doing with Bibi Netanyahu, and just like he's doing with Zelensky, if he's going to meet with the Democrats and listen to their demands and negotiator in chief, negotiate with them too, I think the Democrats should be willing to give them time to keep the American government open for the people. Now, ultimately, if the Democrats, when in 3 weeks, when it's time to vote for the next bill, I think in 3 weeks, that's when they should say intent. I don't think they should shut the government down now. I think they should take the Republicans' proposal for 3 weeks, but I think they should get some demands in those proposals, common sense demands that let them know that they're going to be working towards a deal. Does that make sense? Like, hey, we get 3 high stakes meeting with President Trump, 1 each week. And at the time, y'all doing behind doors meetings with each other, trying to hammer out a deal. Within that 3 weeks time come up, when it's time to vote on the bill again or the government shut down, then at that time, I think that's the time for the Democrats to stay in team for several reasons. Once of probably the most important of which, they could tell the American people, hey, we tried to make a deal with the Republicans. You know what I'm saying? We tried to sit down and talk with them. We gave them time. You know, we did it for the American people, but they're unwilling, and they're trying to cut the health care for 24 million Americans, raise their premiums, and cut 4 million Americans' health care altogether. So that's a great question, and I think that's what should be done. Frenchie says Nick Fuentes should become a leftist. He would be great with better politics. Guys, once again, you're on a cell phone, please double tap your screen. Let's keep going into the content. You guys keep the conversation going. What y'all think about President Trump meeting with the Democrats yesterday? What do y'all think about bipartisanship and politics? How important do you guys think? At the end of the stream, or towards the end, I'm going to give you guys some research. Since y'all always say I don't research, it might be a little boring, but I'm going to tell you about the effects of bipartisanship, man. It is so important. Unity. But many Republicans This might be the problem. And conservative groups oppose extending the subsidies, arguing that government support for ACA enrollees ought to end now that the pandemic is over. What do you guys think? Should they continue the subsidies, for the next 10 years that will cost an estimated $350 billion? We talking about these are 24 million Americans that are dependent on this. Some Senate Republicans have floated a possible compromise of a 2-year extension, maybe not 10 years, but 2-year extension with restrictions on who could apply. I think that's a good idea. What y'all think? It's all about negotiation, man, being willing to negotiate. And for the Republicans to pass this massive legislation, which I said the entire time, the biggest thing in that bill was that health care. I don't need to watch nobody else's news agencies or hear any pundits. I know the biggest thing in the big, beautiful bill is those potential cuts to the health care. So in my opinion, this is a perfect example of bipartisanship working because it will benefit the Republicans greatly if they extend those subsidies. It would benefit them greatly. It's unclear if the mere hint of future negotiation over the Obamacare subsidies will modify enough Senate Democrats to break with their party and vote to avert a shutdown ahead of the September 30th funding shutdown. Guys, what's today? I gotta look at my phone just to make sure. I see it on my computer. I gotta check twice because somebody asked me what if y'all think the government is gonna shut down. You know what I'm saying? This isn't sexy news, bro, but it's important and it's big. It caused President Trump for the first time this year to get up with the Democrats, man. Keeping American government open. That's the business of America. The Senate will vote again on Monday evening on a House-passed bill funding the government until November. That includes no health care provision. The ball is in their court, Thune said Sunday. There is a bill sitting in the Senate right now. This decision, in my judgment, is up to a handful of Democrats. We need 8 Democrats to pass it through the Senate. Well, Senator Thune, I'm going to tell you right now, that bill is not going to pass through the Senate. If you're saying there's no changes to that legislation, the big, beautiful bill, it concerned the health care. Listen, I'll say the Democrats, they might allow other objections to that legislation pass. But I'm saying that healthcare, they're saying that they have to do something about that healthcare in that bill. They're not going to stand with that. And I think the Republicans, or there's a lot of Republicans that are soft to that in certain districts. Senator Hawley, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Republicans that are soft to that because they know that affects their constituents. You guys feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Crazy Baby says any meeting with Trump is a waste of time. I disagree with that, man. I think that's the wrong mentality in America, man. I think we have to change that mentality because, look, right, wrong or indifferent, President Trump is the elected leader of the United States, guys, right or wrong. Did he cheat in the election? Do you have proof that he cheated? If you don't have proof that he cheated and you admit that he is the president of the United States, what I'm saying is anything you're saying against that, in my opinion, you just crying. It's like crybaby stuff. You know what I'm saying? He won. You just got to accept it. President Trump won. He is the president of the United States. That being said, we got that out the way. I'm saying, like, why would not you want to talk to the leader? You got things that you want to get done. You are representing the people, and you are telling your constituents are telling you their main concern is that health care. And you know there's 24 million Americans, their health insurance premiums will rise. And you know there's 4 million Americans who will lose their insurance at all, what Democratic leader at any time would not sit down with President Donald J. Trump to try to get legislation changed that has already been passed that you feel will be harmful to the American people? It don't make sense. You're going to sit down with them and you're going to try to work it out, man. You're going to try to come up with some kind of deal that is better for you. It's not going to hurt you at all politically, because what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your base and you're going to show the American people that you are fighting for the working class. It's not going to hurt the Republican Party out at all either, because the consequences, or I should say, I mean, your options is to keep 24 million Americans' health insurance raising. That ain't good for nobody. Well, we don't understand about that. It don't matter what party you in. It's just what side that they chose. If you chose the Democratic side, you got to stand 10. President Trump standing 10 on the conservative side. Unfortunately for you Democrats, President Trump won the White House. In effect, he got the slimmest majority in U.S. history of elections in the House of Representatives, but it's still a majority. The Speaker of the House is Mike Johnson and not Hakeem Jeffries. And in the Senate, he got a 4-seat majority in the Senate. And he got a majority on the Supreme Court. Man, you can't run around crybabying all your life. You just got to fight. And that's what the Democrats trying to do. Guys, one more time, I ask that you guys would double tap your screen if you're on a cell phone, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Also, guys, in this stream, everyone's welcome. I just ask that you guys would be respectful to others. Republicans, independents, and Democrats, jump down in the comments. Let your voices be heard. One last thing, guys, we do got to pay the bills. I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. So, guys, if you want to donate to the channel, super chat, super thanks, and super stickers start at 99 cents. If you guys want to start a conversation, just hit that button with the $sign in it, and your donations are much appreciated. Foxhound says Trump, Confederate flag, you picked the wrong side. I'm saying, Foxhound, this is what I'm saying. It's just in conservatives over a period of time to represent that side of history. As a black man, I'm not doing research about that or trying to find out about that. That's not my thing. I don't care. But what I am trying to say is that although they might be on that side, to me, I don't look at listen, if I look at racial undertones in a situation and that's all I concentrate on is racial undertones, how am I not a racist? Oh, President Trump standing next to the Confederate flag. What's that got to do with what the stock market doing? Oh, I seen President Trump. He was over there. Kowtowing with a racist. I'm saying, what's that got to do with the jobs report? You see what I'm saying? Like, if I'm sitting here focusing 24/7 on racial undertones, if he brings that to my attention, that's something completely different. You see what I'm saying? If he get up there and make a comment out of the way about minorities, that's something completely different. But I'm saying, ghostwriter, I'm not going to focus on that. That's not my mission. That's not my fight about what he's saying about black people or white people or any kind of people. My mission and my fight is the business of America. And the business of America is President Trump yesterday, for the first time in 8 months, what the founding forefathers of the United States envisioned. Two separate parties, still the same two parties, Republicans and Democrats. Well, not exactly, but kind of close enough. For the first time in 8 months, the Democratic leaders in the Senate and the House of Representatives sat down with the President of the United States, and they had a conversation. That's bipartisanship, okay? This part right here might be real boring for some of you. And for most of this, we'll be reading and not analyzing. And we just picking out the important parts about bipartisanship. And this is a study. People ask me to do research. You want Ghost to do research? I'm going to tell you how I do research. Yes, this is real live research, what y'all been calling for. Not by me, but by Northwestern University. Some people are a lot smarter than me. That's what Ghosts do. You want me to do some research? I'm going to go get some people way smarter than me, at their institute for policy research. So y'all want to research? Bet. Let's get it. Poli-Sci 301. So the rest of you guys bear with us as we go over this boring stuff till we get to the end. The source is the Northwestern Institute for Policy Research. What we're trying to talk about, or Ghostwriter's argument, is does bipartisanship work? Why not just do what President Trump say and just do all executive orders, or just use resolutions to force through legislation? Or what's the purpose of bipartisanship? What is the purpose? What is the good? Why should President Trump listen to Ghostwriter? And why does President Trump have to find it necessary to listen to the Democrats, especially in his situation where he's a unique president who has faced, for the first time since Ronald Reagan, if I'm not mistaken, y'all don't fact check me, I got some research coming for you though. You feel me? President Trump has faced for the first time in some decades assassination attempts. President Trump has faced, what's that, first time since Nixon, y'all? Felony convictions and indictments as a former president. But what's uniquely different about him is that he won a re-election. You see what I'm saying? And he became president again. And that's what we're facing right now. So to President Trump, if there was possible a way that he can hear our voices right here, right now, today, what will we say to him? What is the good of bipartisanship? We don't want to say it to him in a way to where we just letting our voices be heard necessarily. We're going to do that in a second. We want to say it to him in a way to where we're telling him this is facts and stats, President Trump. It is better for America. It is better for you. It is better for the Republicans. It is better for the Democrats that y'all sit down together and y'all work together. I think it makes it safer in America. It tamps down the political climate. Am I right or wrong? The images, y'all, to see President Trump, we need to see images of them sitting down and talking, man. That unity, man. The message need to be unity. If you're going to argue over policy. Listen, Mr. President, I disagree with you on this. Listen, Mr. Senator, I disagree with you on this. But I'm saying all the personal attacks, man, that hatred, man, that's what we need to get rid of. Guys, let's get into it. How might bipartisanship influence lawmaking effectiveness? To make it effective, research rooted in spatial models of lawmaking predicts that successful legislation will often be bipartisan because only legislation that meets the policy goals of pivotal veto players can move forward. Given the frequency of divided government in the U.S., some buy-in from both parties is often required to achieve policy success. Some buy-in from both parties. Moreover, even under unified government, it is rare for one party to be large enough or unified enough to overcome supermajority hurdles in the lawmaking process by itself. Therefore, most successful legislation will be bipartisan. Most successful legislation by construction. in line with Curry and Lee's recent empirical finding. Absent bipartisanship agreement by lawmakers and party leakers, gridlock will ensue. What they saying? Gridlock will. The Northwestern did this research years ago. We talking about this research in COVID time. President Trump, I don't know about you cutting all that money for research. Not all research, but Northwestern did this research a long time ago. And what they said, absent bipartisanship agreement by lawmakers and party leakers, gridlock will ensue. What we have right now, today is the 30th, and we're facing a government shutdown today because the Republicans did and passed legislation that wasn't bipartisan. So what's the effects of bipartisanship? What is the effects of just shoving through legislation without talking to the other side? Why should ghosts always preaching unity? Why should I want to listen and talk to the other side? Consistent with this argument, former Senator Richard Lugar and Georgetown University Dean Edward Montgomery recently decried the state of bipartisanship in Congress, arguing that it had frequently paralyzed congressional decision-making and led both Republicans and Democrats to fail the most basic test of governance. Do y'all think American government not being funded is a failure of the most basic test? I'm saying paying the bills. It's not like you're not paying your bill because you ain't got no money. They got access to literally all of the money in the world. They could print money. But what I'm saying, bro, that's the basic fundamentals and test of governance. We talking about the importance of President Trump sitting down with the Democrats, man. The government finna shut down, man. If it is the case that bipartisanship legislation is more likely to pass, then at an individual level, in this same essay, Lugar and Montgomery announced the creation of the Lugar Bipartisan Index, which is a metric of bipartisanship among members of Congress to help provide voters and other observers of Congress with the tool with which to assess which legislators were willing to reach across the aisle to forge compromises. Further information about the index, if you guys want to go look this up, is at www.thelugarcenter.org/our work. I'll say that again, www.thelugarcenter.org/our work. Okay? The overall findings we offer below are robust to use of the Lugar Index as a measure of legislators' bipartisanship. One would expect that those legislators who develop and shepherd bipartisanship bills will be more successful than those legislators who advocate for more partisan policy agenda. Y'all know what that is. Those fringe legislators, far right, far left, versus the people in the center. Indeed, profiles of long-serving and successful legislators often highlight their abilities to work across the aisle and build coalitions for their legislations, stand up for the OGs and the legends of bipartisanship. The legends of bipartisanship in Congress. Senator Ted Kennedy, a Democrat from Massachusetts, salute MA, baby, for example, was well known for proactively identifying Republican allies who could help him to advance his legislative priorities, including the 1982 Jobs Training Partnership Act, where he partnered with Dan Quayle, a Republican in Indiana. Y'all, that name sound familiar? And the 2001 No Child Left Behind Act, where he worked in partnership with President George W. Bush. Similarity, Representative Henry Waxman, another Democrat in California, attributes his success in passing reforms of pesticide regulations in the 90s to building a bipartisan coalition that began with Representative Thomas Bealey working across the aisle generates more refined proposals, which attracts a broader coalition. Y'all listen. Y'all asked for research, Northwestern giving y'all research. These people are much more smarter than me, but I can hear what they're saying, and it makes plenty of sense. Working across the aisle generates more refined proposals. Does that make sense? If I'm just working with Republicans, all I'm going to get is one perspective in this bill. But if I work with Democrats, then I'm going to have a Democratic and a Republican perspective in this bill. More refined proposals. Y'all feeling that? That makes the, I'm trying to, we got to understand this, man. It helps everybody. It attracts a broader coalition. So because you got Democrats who decided to support the bill, now you got Democrats you got Democrats with you. You a Republican with a bill, you ain't got all Republicans, you got some Democrats with you. That's more of a broader or a better picture of America. That's what I'm saying. Including those across the aisle for achieving policy goals. We talking the business of America. Such arguments at the collective and individual level motivate our first testable hypothesis. Bipartisanship and legislative effectiveness hypothesis. Those legislators who exhibit higher levels of bipartisan activity in Congress will be more effective lawmakers. I'm ghostwriter on here saying that's facts. Legislators who exhibit higher levels of bipartisanship activity in Congress are more effective lawmakers. That's facts. I'm doing my research. I'm doing it with you guys on the live stream. Northwestern University, guys. Those legislators who choose an alternative perspective, it highlights the collective benefits that come from bipartisan or partisan differentiation. Bipartisan legislation that fails to differentiate between the two parties may be seen by strong partisan as betraying fundamental principles of the party. Does that make sense to you? That's like saying some Republicans or some Democrats, because they know that the Democrats are this way or the Republicans are this way, they won't break. They don't want to break. They don't want to make a deal. They want to stay grounded in whatever they grounded in. And the goal is to get a compromise. The goal is to make a deal. President Trump, all those trade deals, the deal maker in chief, I salute you, brother, for sitting down with those Dems, man. The goal now, President Trump, is for you to get a deal with the Democrats. I'm not expecting you to get it today. I think if y'all get one today, you'll rush it. I think the goal is to not have the government shut down today. So what you got to do is you got to convince them Democrats some kind of way. You got to offer them something. You got to give them something. You got to promise them something. But President Trump, you are the president. You the big dog in chief. It's on you to get them to say, hey, we'll give you 3 weeks. We'll give you 3 weeks, Big President T. And you know why Ghost say that? Because their mentality, the Democrats' mentality, is that big Beautiful bill, they'll say no, Ghost, it ain't beautiful bill. It's a big ugly bill. They'll say that is an existential threat to the U.S. economy, to the U.S. people. So the Democrats have stood up and said they're going to stand for the working class of America. And the way they're going to do that is to oppose that part of the legislation at all costs. If it means shut the government down, we're going to shut this down. We're going to bring this attention because you can't do that to 24 million American self-care. That's a winning argument for the Democrats. You said, hey, wait up, Ghost. You said that that's a winning argument and it helps Republicans too. How can it help both Republicans and Democrats? Because they both going to argue the point. The Republicans are going to argue, hey, we compromised with the Democrats and we tried to fix Obamacare. Hey, President Trump could say, look, Ghost, I knew they were going to come back around. I knew we had to do a budget. I know the time schedule. So what I did is I passed the legislation I wanted to pass. And when the Democrats came back around, we going to fix Obamacare. I ain't going to leave it the way it is. I always said I was going to fix it. That could be his argument. The Democrats could say, hey, we were going to shut the government down. And President, that's both arguments. So it's going to be the best candidate wins. Both party wins. And you know who wins the most? Who wins the most in bipartisanship? We're going to get back to the research, guys. But we're talking about factual effects and benefits of bipartisanship. Who wins the most when these politicians work together? Because I'm trying to tell you, that's the Ghost preaches this all the time. If y'all follow this content, that's the way the system's set up. That's how it's set up, guys. It's set up on a two-party system, a debate, a healthy debate between two parties. You have to work together. But let's get back to the research, guys, okay? All right, so let's see. Fowler shows that members who are more connected with their colleagues are more successful at passing their amendments, while Craig demonstrates how more connected legislators are more successful at securing federal grants, okay? Research on legislative entrepreneurship likewise suggests the importance of coalition building, including those who work across the aisle for achieving policy goals. Such arguments at the collective and individual level motivate our first testable hypotheses, okay? So guys, I just want you guys to understand, and I'm not going to skip much because that's what we do. We reading through the research. I just want you guys to understand, and these are tests done by the Northwestern Institute, Policy Institute. Okay, this political science stuff is kind of boring stuff. But I feel like if you're going to talk to a Republican or a Democrat and you saying, how can we work? Listen to this, y'all. I want y'all to get with me for just a second, man. Get with me for a second. Feel me on this. President Trump, I'm rocking with you, man. This morning, I'm saluting you. I'm going to stand up, President T. I'm going to salute you, big dog. You feel me? Because I'm finna talk about something else in a second. Just a second after we finish this, President Trump, he met with Netanyahu yesterday. And he said that Netanyahu agreed to a peace deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just share my thoughts on that in just a second, but I'm saying I'm gonna salute him. To me, that's 2 times in one day. Whether or not y'all, they focusing, they want them to hit a home run the first time they get together. That's not gonna happen. That's not realistic. I hope President Trump don't expect that to happen. That's just like you can't get Russia and Ukraine to stop fighting in one day. You can't solve that situation with Israel and Palestine in one day. And you ain't gonna solve the situation with the Democrats in one day, especially President T, when you calling people on their side evil. You see what I'm saying? So in the midst of this political climate, to see President Trump sent down, that to me, it means more than even what it means for the budget. And hopefully, moving forward, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries they could forge a relationship, at least a workable relationship with President Trump, to where he can hear the ideas or concerns of the other side. If you guys have not liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me if you're on the cell phone. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure y'all can hit that notification bell every time we go live. I see you down in the comments. Republicans, independents, and Democrats. It don't matter, man. Y'all let y'all voices be heard. River says there's literally nothing you could say to sound slick or funny. Let's see. Okay, I see y'all down there, man, just trolling for the most part, man. Look, guys, super chat, super thanks, super stickers, they all start at 99 cents. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys want to start a conversation about bipartisanship or the effects of bipartisanship or anything at all politically, really, just go ahead and hit the button with the $sign in it, and your donations are much appreciated. Guys, I'm almost finished with the little part of the research that I came up with. You know what I'm saying? Just giving you guys a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I felt like today I wanted to do a news story, and I knew it probably would be boring. You know what I'm saying? Not to continue with the news and to jump in some research, but they always crying to me about research. So I just thought it would be cool to throw in some research with the news while I'm trying to salute President Trump. We need to encourage him to continue to meet with the Democrats. I know people on the far right, they're going to be against that. They're going to oppose that. But those people are opposing the good of America. That's how I feel. Because I feel if he meets with them and they work out deals, that's good for America. That's good for everybody. This dynamic may play out on a variety of legislative proposals. For example, messaging bills that highlight partisan differences on the chamber floor, but have little chance of being enacted to law, helps voters understand what each party stands for. It helps individual legislators engage in position taking without the risk of bill passage, and help the party garner support from aligned groups. We're just showing you and telling you about how working together, it helps in so many ways. Such messaging bills may therefore outperform bipartisan bills through the early stages of the lawmaking process, reaching the House or Senate floor, even if they do not become law. And partisan incentives carry over to legislation that the leadership actively seeks to advance into law. Such partisan efforts may be seen as particularly attractive when major policy change becomes attainable, such as during Democratic efforts to pass the Affordable Care Act or Republican efforts to repeal it, even when such majorities and unified government are not available to push through a highly partisan legislative agenda like the Republicans just did. Party leaders often prefer starting with the strong base of partisan supporters and then picking off opponents from the other side rather than starting from a position of bipartisan compromise. What I would say is what the way you start to me isn't as important as the way you finish. It's just the style. I mean, if you start with a bipartisan support for your bill, strong, or if you start with strong partisan support for your bill, then it would be harder for the other side to kill the bill. You see what I'm saying? And then once the bill is introduced more to the American people and to the other side, the concepts and the ideas, because a lot of times you will hear the concepts and ideas from the other side just because it's coming from their mouth. They'd be ready to shoot it down without hearing them out. You see what I'm saying? It's just like you in any argument. If you hearing something from your opponent or somebody that you despise or hate, you are less likely to hear what they're saying, and you're hearing them saying it. Does that make sense? But you could hear the same exact thing from somebody else and be more likely to receive the words that's being said. So in my mind, like if you start with, it don't matter if you start partisan, You got strong support for that bill, to have that bill rock solid. And when the other side, when the Democrats heard it, they were repulsed by it. And they called it the big ugly bill. You see what I'm saying? But you solid in your bill and your stance. That gives you a better negotiating position. So when the Democrats come now, President Trump has to know that he's going to make some concessions. He has to make concessions. He has to. That's factual. But what in his mind, because he started from a more partisan place, he's going to get changes to Obamacare. You see what I'm saying? If he would have started from a bipartisan place, I'm saying the Republicans tried it. They tried repealing Obamacare to work with the Democrats. It's just not, the Democrats wouldn't have been with it. So I think like the way he started, I think it works like that, okay? El Michelle says, I think part of the problem is the American people do not go to the .gov websites and read the actual bills, then reach out to their Congress leaders with the supported and educated opinion. El Michelle, what you said is probably one of the most beautiful comments that I've heard in all of 2025. Because what El Michelle says is exactly how government works. That's how government's supposed to work. That's what you're supposed to do. The American people, the American voters, they're just going in the voting booth and they just checking a box. I'm going to just punch a box and I'm going to just hope this punch works. I'm going to punch a box. If this punch don't work, I'm going to make a few complaints. I'm going to cry and I'm going to whine and that's it. I'm going to walk away. Man, I speak about it, man, all the time. If you, the help that you want, the .gov websites, what I say is you connect with your local congressperson or senator. You see what I'm saying? That to me, that's the help that you need or should want, or any protest or let your voice be heard. That's the people's house. That's y'all's house. That's our house. We the people, those senators and Congress people, and the ones with the strongest voice. So let's say what Michelle said, if she don't mind, baby, I'm going to edit it a little bit. And I'll say, I think the problem is the American people don't actually read the actual bills. I don't know if everybody has time to do that. But I think the American people don't reach out to their congressperson in your own district with a support and educated opinion. I don't care if you call your, listen, a good congresswoman or a good congressman, a good senator is going to have their number available for their constituents. And that's a phone number that they could call. If I was a senator or a congressperson, or if I worked for them, I would have a phone number, like a 911 number, to where if you have any kind of problem with any government agency, I got somebody there to help you. I don't care if it's just a little old lady and she calling up to let her voice be heard. And I would hire the right person to sit there fielding them phone, or the right people fielding them phone calls, who would come back and relay those messages. And as a congressperson, all I'm going to do is take those messages and I'm going to voice their concerns. That's the system. That's how it's supposed to work. A representative democracy. So where that person, that congressperson in that district, they're supposed to be speaking for the plurality of the voters in their districts. The majority of Congress people in America are not in bipartisan districts. Does that make sense? That might be by design due to redistricting, but the majority of Congress people in America, they are in very partisan district, majority, not all. That being said, You got to speak for your constituency. That's all it is. I think what El Michelle says is that the majority of people don't understand how their government works. You just don't understand it. If you have a problem or a concern, you need to reach out to your congressperson, not the state representatives. And if you have a problem in the state with the state government or the local government, that's what that state representative is for. They are an official government worker. Jasmine Crockett, if you live in the Dallas area, she is an official federal employee, officer of the federal government. And she has authority and power in that district to enforce federal law. Listen to me. That Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett in Dallas, Texas, has authority and power to enforce federal law. And sometimes, in some cases in her district, her authority and power exceeds President Trump's. I understand you guys do not understand the law, but all I'm telling you is you don't have to know the ends in the law. You don't have to be a poli-sci major like ghostwriter. All I'm telling you is that you need to have your congressperson, state or federal, you need their number in your phone. That's your help. Y'all, let's finish this real quick. Even with such majorities, a unified government are not available to push through a highly partisan legislative agenda. Party leaders often prefer starting with a strong base of partisan supporters and then picking off opponents from the other side rather than start from a position of bipartisan compromise. And I just explained to you why they do that, the strategy behind that. For example, consistent with classic partisan gatekeeping approaches, Speaker Dennis Haslett, a Republican from Illinois, implemented what became known as the Haslett Rule, whereby he would not allow legislation to move forward without support of a majority of the majority party at minimum. Similarly, in the late 1990s, Majority Whip Tom DeLay adopted a strategy of starting every single initiative from as far to the potential right as we could. Y'all get that? Partisan bills, especially among major party members, may therefore achieve greater success in committee and perhaps on the floor. So guys, if y'all have not liked the video, I ask that you guys please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Also, guys, I see y'all down in the comments, Miss Michelle, Mr. P-Pep and Buck. You guys, if you want to donate to the channel, anyone in the stream, y'all just watching, playing in the background, super chat, super stickers, and super thanks start at 99 cents. Just hit the button with the $sign in it, and your donations are much appreciated. Well, guys, I try to be short and sweet. That's about 1 hour. I came, I saw, and I conquered. I feel like we delivered great content. You know what I'm saying? Great content, man. I gave you guys research. I gave you guys a news story. I told you guys the importance of President Trump wanting to work with the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Why should he want to work with them? I told y'all why. It wasn't my opinion. It's straight facts. It works better. The system works better. You know what I'm saying? That being said, man, I'm going to bump out the way for a second, man. I didn't want to bump out the way before I finish the content. You know what I'm saying? Because people come in here just for that political content, and that's it. After that, they gone. You know what I'm saying? I hope some of you guys go over right now. You guys could go over right now. Is it 8 o'clock a.m.? Yes, indeed. We got a premiere going on right now, guys. We the People, #7. So some of you guys right now, y'all could drop out of here. Y'all could stay on the channel. Y'all could go check out We the People. #7 is premiering right now. That being said, guys, we going to stay live. We going to keep cooking. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to congratulate President Trump on meeting with the Democrats. I'm going to say that's a great job, President Trump. I'm happy that you decided to put the business of America before, you know what I'm saying, your party objectives, your party members' objections. You show real leadership by, and I hope you pray, and I pray that you continue to meet with them and negotiate with them just like you would any other leader in the world for the good of the American people. That being said, I'm going to bump out the way for a second, and when I get back, we're going to jump down in the comments. Man, y'all, please, we could talk about anything, you know what I'm saying, but if y'all could keep it about politics for at least 15 more minutes before we get into the Kanye West, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Big Kanye. You know what I'm saying? They be calling me Kanye. I wish I was Kanye. Nah, I'm just playing. But I'm going to bump out the way, man. I'm up here upstate New York, if you guys don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's gorgeous up here in the Appalachian Mountains by one of the Finger Lakes. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys enjoy nature, man, Legal Wars Live is the place to be. I ask that you double tap the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys hit the notification bell. And thank you guys for being here with me today.
They moved to Florida. So I've driven through, so stop the lights.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you, Miss LL. You too, you too. Oh, yes, indeed. I'm still streaming. Why wouldn't I be? You feel what I'm saying? Man, of course, I'm supposed to give you some good laughs. Laughter is good for the soul. You feel what I'm saying? I give you some good spankings too. I give you some good advice too. You know what I'm saying? Before I get into all that nonsense, because I'll engage in the nonsense with you guys for just a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to say that President Trump, man, I just want to say kudos to President Trump with that meeting with Bibi Netanyahu, man. That's twice in a row, two in the same day. So President Trump started off Monday. He got up with the Democrats, you know what I'm saying, for the first time in 8 months, trying to avoid a government shutdown. And then on the same day, he had a state meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, where he said that Israel agreed to a 21-point comprehensive peace deal. You know what I'm saying? Here's my take on the whole situation. Like, guys, y'all know I've been critical of Benjamin Netanyahu and how he has fought the war. That's still supporting Israel. Don't get it confused. I support Israel 10,000%. What I'm trying to say is that I heard Bibi say something about a curse and being cursed and all that. Bibi, I don't understand that, because what I'm saying is that, you know, you got corruption charges, sir. Like, you fighting against corruption charges in Israel. So I think that, like, you know, you quoting scriptures and stuff, like you fighting corruption charges. While you quoting scriptures, as the leader of Israel, you fighting corruption charges, sir. That's what I'm saying. So I think that doesn't look authentic. This is just love. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to help you in the cause as the leader of the Israeli people. You talking about people being on their curse for not supporting Israel, and at the same time you fighting corruption charges in your own country, your own government. You as the leader got you indicted. So that's why I want to say that to start off. But sir, what I want to say is I understand what you were saying as far as the policy parts of what you were saying. Like, Bibi's argument is that if Israel allows, or if Israel doesn't do it a certain way, what's going to happen is that Hamas will continue to come back, and they'll continue to come back, and they'll continue to come back, and they'll continue to come back. So Bibi feels like Hamas, they attacked him on October the 7th, and his exact argument is that if he doesn't utterly destroy them, that they'll continue to do that over and over. I could understand that to a certain extent. I can't say that I understand that to an extent that you would starve the Palestinian children. I can't say I understand that to an extent to where, you know what I'm saying, you will do harmful things to the Palestinians. But the dilemma is that the Palestinians cannot rid themselves of Hamas. And that is a fundamental error against them in the argument for the Palestinians. If the Palestinians could rid themselves of Hamas with no blank arguments, that would be a clear indicator for Bibi Netanyahu that he will have to stop the war immediately. But he's saying that the Palestinians have said multiple times, which I know is true from my personal self, I observed it in my personal life. The Palestinians have said multiple times that, you know what I'm saying, they wanted to get rid of Hamas, or they weren't gonna, you know what I'm saying, deal with Hamas, and Hamas keep, and they still with the Palestinians. So Bibi's whole thing goes like, I keep hearing this, I'm tired of dealing with this, I want to deal with this once and for all. I understand that argument. And just like with President Trump, my thing is always the approach. It's the approach, Bibi. You don't starve children, Mr. Netanyahu, Mr. Prime Minister. You don't starve children to win a war. If you want to quote scriptures, that's not scripture, sir. You do not starve children to win a war. Where is that at in the Bible? You talking about God cursing the enemies of Israel. Who is the enemies of Israel? You talking about the Palestinians? Oh, okay, God cursing them. Yeah, God cursed them, but he also told you, you're not God. You're not the creator. You're not all of the universe and the galaxies and all of this stuff. You can't even understand who God is to try to play his role from your perch. What you need to do, sir, is to humble yourself. You don't starve children. That's my opinion, sir. I'm sorry. I got mad love for you. I got mad love for the people of Israel. I want to see the children, God's children, safe. And you heard what Ghostwriter said, and Ghostwriter ain't got no line to no world leaders. And right after Ghostwriter said that, excuse me, you saw world leader after world leader after world leader after world leader. Go back and check the content. I mean, the very next week, start declaring statehood for the Palestinians. Y'all need to listen to me sometime, man. I be knowing what I'm talking about. You be thinking I'm your enemy. How I'm your enemy? If I said that your heritage, I believe God come from your heritage. Listen to that, guy. You a Hebrew. You a real Hebrew? Well, I said, the God I pray to, I get on my knees. That's the only one you ever see me ever bow or submit to completely, on my knees and my face crying to Jesus. And in my Bible, he say he the God of the Hebrews. So if you a Hebrew, sir, that says everything it need to say. I'm not against you, brother. I love you. But some of the stuff you saying, man, you don't starve no children under no circumstances, sir. Do we starve children? How could we say that promotes unity? That's why the world start turning against you. We need unity. Now, if he's saying he keeping his people safe by pursuing Hamas and Ghostwriter, the reason why right now I'm not going to stop, because look at the history of the situation. We've given the Palestinian Authority 1 trillion times to get rid of Hamas. They can't do it, so I'm going to do it. Him maintaining a military presence. Now listen, you guys, this is up to y'all, for y'all to decipher this amongst yourselves, okay? Everybody, let your voice be heard. But him maintaining a military presence for the short term in Gaza, that makes perfect sense. He's trying to keep his people safe. In my opinion, what I would do, I would get this President T, like, I know y'all got a plan. This has solved the whole problem. The ins and outs, the little ins and outs, I don't never get into that, but those little ins and outs is what would kill a whole deal. The number one thing, Hamas, I would get them hostages. Me, Ghostwriter, I would pay for them hostages. Because I know what I'm doing. They'll never see the money, but I'll put it out there. You see what I'm saying? I'll pay for them hostages to get released. But what I'm saying is, to me, the goal is to pull them hostages from them. That's number one. You got to get that done. But number two is that the Palestinian Authority, if they want to be in power, I would let them have they whatever in Gaza, the two-state solution. But what I'm saying is the police in that area would be Israeli police, period. They could cry till their eyes fall out. We could stop the war tomorrow. We could stop the war today. You just got to release the hostages, and my police got to stay in Gaza for an extended period of time. That's the only two things Israel should be asking for. And it should be over. And however the Palestinians go about rebuilding, and President Trump wants American investors to get in that, or American business, however you're going to do it, that's on y'all. But that's my take on that. You know what I'm saying? Meesmouth says save the children. It's not no save the children. I'm saying, what man wants to go and starve women and children? That's crazy. Why don't we do that to you? That's the problem with most people. They don't have no empathy or compassion, but they claim to be Christians and like Jesus. What? Where at? I'm missing it. They good on the parts of being tough and mean. I'm good at that too. But I'm saying, where your compassion at? You supposed to be balanced. You good at being cruel and trying to torture people, but you ain't where your love and compassion at. You guys two sides, bro. You gotta have the balance, bro. I have compassion and love too. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, look, you could reject. Look, BB, he ain't rejecting it. He agreed. The news is, and I'm gonna do a live stream on this after they finish negotiating. You need Hamas to agree to the peace deal, the American peace deal, that America put a peace deal on the table. And BB stood with President Trump yesterday and said that he agreed to the peace deal. So you need Hamas to agree to the peace deal. And there should be a little bit of quiet, hopefully, for a little bit of time. And if we could get a little bit of quietness in that war for a little bit of time, hopefully those little bit of days will grow to a little bit of more days. And those little bit of days will grow into some weeks. And those weeks will grow into some months. And then they could finally, at least for some years. Because in my opinion, you always going to be fighting that war. Always. Constantly fighting that war. That's my opinion. If you guys have not liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I don't see none of you guys down there with no interest in content. You know what I'm saying? So we're about to end the live stream in just a second. I'm gonna do the outro. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody tell me to take a loss in a court case, that won't never happen. I don't see how it could happen. Because I'm saying, you saying me take a loss, if I don't get the money, you going to get sued 50 times. So you got to pay 3 times minimum to not pay me what you owe me. 3 times minimum. That's the dilemma my opponents have. You broke a law. I can't take no loss. You gonna litigate that case to the court, through the court. You gonna get a judge decision through the court if you don't want to pay money. That's how that's gonna end. You gonna litigate that case through the court if you don't want to pay money. And if you get one court to get rid of anything, I'ma sue you triple. You gotta pay 3 times. It's on repeat. You got served, you gonna pay for that service. You gotta litigate that. You can't do no 1-2 documents and you tap out. It ain't no threats. I'm not threatening nobody. It's the process. That's why we have an appeal process. How you take that as a threat? Omar, that's why I be saying they be soft, man. They saying I'm threatening judges because I said I'm gonna appeal him for making the wrong ruling. What's wrong with these people, man? If this man make the wrong ruling, I'm gonna teach him the law. That ain't no disrespect to him. Just do the right thing. It's simple. That business, if I sued you, you paying 3 times to not pay $1. Ask the companies that I dealt with before. You ain't no bigger or better than them. I done told this story 100 times. Omar. Trump signed an order yesterday that makes being anti-capitalist and man, but listen, this is what I'm saying. Omar, you could sign whatever executive order you want to. How is it legal? Is it going to be challenged? Omar, that's like saying that President Trump's orders, executive orders, have not been thrown out by how many courts and how many been thrown out and how many actually. The smaller, way less than what he wrote is actually still standing, and the third that they being challenged. Omar, I'm not really trying to speak on it like that because I ain't trying to hate on President Trump because I gave him love today. That's the truth. That's how the truth go. It's not one-sided. And people ain't used to that. And I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I heard him say something about Representative Crockett I didn't like, so I spoke my mind. Ain't no disrespect. You know, that's who I am. And then, you know, at the same time, like, I seen him do a fantastic job, in my opinion, with sitting down with the Democrats. At least that shows some progress. Some progress, that's all we need, inching towards unity. let's say it together, inching towards unity. And then I seen him with Netanyahu, him trying to reign slowly. He don't want to do it too hard. Want to make sure the Israeli people stay safe. Netanyahu, that is his country, but slowly rein him towards peace. Real talk. That is his country. So we want to rein you in towards peace, Netanyahu. He just want to do it in a way he don't want to fight the war again. I gave you the suggestion. Just keep the Israeli police there and put their government in charge. But the Mossad know how to do it. Bug everything, listen to everything they doing, and continue to hunt Hamas. Just don't do it in the way you're doing it. Doing it in a more black covert way. You know how Putin sent them fake soldiers in with fake uniforms? Maybe you need to do some of that. Fake soldiers, fake uniforms kind of stuff. Israel know how to do it. They very creative. But I'm saying, to me, that's all you got to do is get the hostages back and then keep their police force there and put, he got to shut up all the rest of the world because they want the Palestinian Authority there. His whole argument is that the Palestinians, I'm going to say something that might sound a little weird because y'all probably hadn't heard nobody say this, Omar, and BB hadn't said this yet, but what BB probably feel in his heart is that the Palestinians are really they're Iranian proxies, just like, Hamas is. Because for decades, and Omar, even though I don't support him starving the Palestinians, and even though I don't support him just stomping on some people that's down, even though Hamas, that's their terrorists, he could kill all of them. But I'm saying as far as the Palestinians in the civilian population, the world don't support that. But what I'm saying is, though, Omar, my whole thing is, though, that the Palestinians, to be fair to BB, I heard him speak yesterday. Let the man speak for himself. God gonna let every man speak one day at a judgment seat. So those of y'all who don't believe in due process and saying you Christians, go read Revelations. In the end, God gonna give a man a chance to speak for himself. Every man. God believes in due process. So that's what I'm saying. BB spoke for himself. And what he said is that he's given Hamas plenty of opportunities to get rid of the Palestinians. The Palestinians to get rid of Hamas, and they ain't been able to do it. So I hadn't seen no Palestinian children hungry on TV the other day or recently. President Trump said he getting to the point to where Israel agreed to a peace deal. Like y'all saying that he want to keep fighting the war, but Israel agreed to the peace deal. That's what FK, that's what I said. I'm going to just speak the truth, BB. I'm going to just be real. I ain't hating on him. I'm going to just be real. You see what Omar's saying? I ain't hating on him. I'm going to just be real, my boy. I'm going to just be real with you. You talking about people being under curse. I don't even know what that means. You mean the Palestinian under curse? What you mean? Hamas under the curse? The devil is under a curse. BB, Satan is under a curse. He got more power than you. The only reason he don't destroy you, bro, is because of God. Being under a curse, I was confused with that. He's saying if they're going against Israel, who coming against Israel, bro? You facing charges in your own country. So me talking against you, you need to be talking about the people of God got you under trial. God's people. We ain't talking about the charges you facing in the international court and courts all over the world. They saying that you are what? I ain't never said that about you. I said that about Putin. I ain't never said that about you. But I see what they're coming from. If you blocking food to get from women and children, trying to quote a Bible scripture to do that, that's kind of wild. That's a human rights violation. I'm a law person, but since you saying that, I'm saying God's people, God's court, and God's people got you under trial for corruption of all things. That's facts. I'm not hating on nobody. You see what I'm saying? But I understand his argument for why he doing what he doing. You saying he don't want to go to trial. That's why I pinned up somebody said that's their voice. He might be trying to avoid trial. I don't know. Who knows? God knows, though. Don't think your power is above God's. I hope in none of you mere mortal men who think we all are God's, lowercase g, don't you thinking we all what? God is all the universes. He ain't just the universe. They say the universe to describe God. God said there is no other God besides me. So that means all the galaxies and all the universes, all of that is God. You a mere mortal man. It ain't no lowercase g's. You ain't no gods. You could say that about Jesus because he's a man that's God, but not no man, bro. These men, they be getting way above themselves, man. You got to heed counsel, my brother. The whole world turning against you. You can't beat the whole world. You in America can't beat the whole world if they unite against you because you keep reading your Bible, reading Revelations. I'm not trying to preach no sermon. You want to read scriptures, reading Revelations, how God said the world gonna end, and seeing the leaders of the world standing up together, speaking out against you because you being hard-headed. You kicking too hard. You just need to listen and stop being bullheaded and thinking you God and you ain't above getting struck down. Because you putting the people, God's people, in danger. And at the same time, they got you on trial. Make it make sense. You trying to speak for the people of God. They protesting against you, got you on trial. And the only reason they let you stay there because you've been far strong enough for them. I'll give you that. I ain't hating on you. I got love for you, and I ain't scared of you. If I ain't scared of my president, I ain't scared of you, definitely, brother. I could care less. You gonna still meet the fate of the truth, one way or the other. Whoever right is right, whoever wrong is wrong, and you gonna meet the fate of the truth in the end. Period. I am, you are, he is, they is. We all leaving here one day. Boy, that's how I look at it. And I know I'm solid with the Lord. And I know if somebody come at me wrong, I'm going to bust their skull. And if I don't get them, I know what's going to happen to you. Point blank, period. I'm going to speak my truth and walk in my power that the Lord has given me to do so. Speaking truth to power with my heart right before God and honest with love for BB and the nation of Israel. I don't hate BB and I don't hate Israel. I'm a Christian and a conservative. I just don't feel like you should be starving women and children, whoever you are. If it was the left starving a Christian nation, if that could ever happen or something like that in the future America, I'll speak out against it. Don't block food from getting to them people trying to quote Bible scriptures when you quoting that wrong. You made people pull back the veil on you, bro. Come on, you too old, too strong, too wise to be playing them games. Don't be starving them women and kids. That's not right. The whole world gonna stand up against you, and you watch every nation in the UN standing up against you. What happened when you got up and started speaking? And Ghostwriter made this stream weeks before you went to the UN. I'm telling them, I'm giving you the game, bruh. I don't got no phone to the UN or the leaders. Y'all see this? This is real. Look at the tabs. I'm saying BB don't starve women and kids 2-3 weeks ago. And then he go to the UN. If y'all don't know this, as soon as he started speaking, you seen a mass exodus. The whole world walking out on you, boy. You better listen to somebody who knows something. If you didn't know, ask President Trump and them. They'll tell you. I know what I'm talking about. You can do whatever you want to. You're not going to fade the truth, bro. You can't run from the truth. God is the truth. He is the creator. The Bible say that the eyes of the Lord are in all place, observing the good and the evil. Either you believe it or not, but boy, you are on trial for corruption. You should be humble. Humbly protect the children of God. And do not starve women and children. Simple. It's too easy. I don't think they'll be against you going against Hamas. Because ain't nobody in their right mind is finna take any kind of defense of Hamas. Ain't no progressives gonna do that because they understand how terrorists work. They're criminals. They'll kill you too. They're evil. They'll kill everybody. Those are real terrorists. Antifa, I don't know. That might be political classifications. But I'm saying Hamas is a real, true terrorist organization. Ain't no left or right should be with Hamas. The Palestinian people, that's a complicated situation. BB's argument is good. Hamas is keep attacking them constantly for decades. That's facts. That's not me pandering. That's facts. What I'm saying wrong? He's trying to keep the children of God safe. I'm supposed to go against him now. And I'm a Christian and I support Israel. And he's trying to keep them safe. I'm not going against that. Facts. Hamas keeps attacking Israel. Number one is the hostages. They need them hostages. Ghost said that I would pay for them to be free. You just got to be smart and know what you're doing. They'll never get the money. But I will put the money out there and get them free. The only thing I will have for Hamas is death and hellfire. Literally hellfire. Eternal damnation. No 70 virgins. All you getting is death and hellfire and eternal damnation. But it wouldn't be for the Palestinians and the Palestinian women and children. That's like political stuff. Let that stay political. It's for who got guns pointing at you and your people. You can't kill the ideology. You're not going to be able to do that. So you get the hostages and then you leave an Israeli police force, a strong police force, not a military taking stuff and burning stuff down. It's making you look bad. And if you don't want to listen to me, they're not just going to keep on getting up and walking out. I heard leaders said they'll send 20,000 troops today. And BB heard them too to support the Palestinians. They are, go read Revelations. They're ready to pick up guns against you. You are endangering the children of God with your ignorance. And God will humble you one way or the other, sir. I don't want to get like this. They down there stirring stuff. I'm not trying to be like this, but you out of line, man. Period. Speak truth to power. I ain't scared of you. You could do whatever to me. It ain't going to change what's going to happen to you in the end or your plight. You trying to silence the truth. You with God? God's trying to silence the truth. When do God ever try to silence the truth, y'all? He is the truth. He's the light. Speak truth into darkness. Talk about a real leader and a real king of Israel that didn't have no kind of corruption charges on him, that the people loved him, and he had the legal authority to dismantle your whole face of your planet off the face, your whole family off the face of the earth. He had the legal authority and the God-given right, and a peasant came and cursed him out. And his top dog had that sword. And he looked at King David and he told King David, give me the word, I'll take that dog, dirty dog. And King David said, nah, that's a humble man who know God, who love God for real. This a man cursing him and he's saying, nah. And you trying to quote a scripture for starving children and women. And you got corruption charges on you. But, some Republicans ain't gonna, talk about, too hard about you because, what I'm saying, they God is that green dollar bill and they know Benjamin, BB, y'all, I ain't trying to be like that, but, you got a bunch of green dollar bills and deals and stuff, so, keep the money flowing. It ain't nothing to do with God or whether you right or wrong. It's about the dollar, the almighty dollar. The almighty dollar is the name of the game, and 99% of these men, bro, don't talk to somebody like me, bro, who that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying right now. You gonna be wrong, sir, in the end. I care about the truth. I don't care about no temporary victories and battles. I'm talking about the truth. I'll come in and I'll proclaim to you, I will tell you your end, just like that prophet came to King David and he said, thou art the man. He know King David got the power to take his head off. But that don't matter. He got a message to God from God. And his message is, thou art the man. Do what you want to do. But see, you ain't like King David. The proud and lifted up. What the Bible say, since you want to quote scriptures, sir, that happened to the proud and lifted up. King David wasn't like that. He had the power, but he humbled himself. You see what I'm saying? What our God did. Jesus had the power, but what our God did, he humbled himself. He humbled himself. Jesus humbled himself. He down there washing that woman's feet. That's what Jesus did. He got the power, though. But these dudes today that got the power, they glorifying in what? They glorifying in what? They egos, man. Come on, man. I'm saying let's just be real, man. Big President Trump, I appreciate you, sir. I didn't come on here for that, even though I wanted to speak on that and offer a solution. President Trump, I appreciate you taking the steps in the interest of the American public who are starting to oppose the war, and they're starting to oppose Israel and the people of God, just like Omar in here. He's not in the minority. Omar opposing Israel and the people of God is not in the minority. And I read Revelations about the battle of Armageddon, and I believe that. So why would we want to do something knowing Revelations, if you got any common sense and you're not just a controlled program monkey that just gotta say, I can support Israel, I support Israel, I support Israel. I mean, I gotta be so stupid to show you like, you can't get complexity. You supporting Israel. But you know what Revelations say about the people attacking Israel. And all the nations of the world getting, when the Israeli leader getting up to speak, all the nations of the earth doing this. They ain't picked up no guns yet, but they don't even want to hear you. They don't want to hear what you got to say, BB. They ain't picked up the guns yet. Even though some Asian nations offered 20,000 troops to go stand with the Palestinians, but they ain't picked up no guns yet. Hey, BB, check this out. This is what I'm saying, man. Some people ain't got no vision. I ain't hating on the man and saying that it's because you got the charges. I'm saying that is facts, though. But what I'm saying is that what you think gonna happen when this younger generation take over? What you think will happen if Zoran Mandami becomes president of the United States? Not hating on him, but I'm just saying a progressive or somebody on that left who got another opinion. Because I'm saying what President Trump doing right now, they watch polls all the time. I don't care if they tell you if they do. President Trump ain't watching no polls. Got people like ghosts around him who gives him advice that understands that we can't trust a projection or what your mama say or what your daddy say or any kind of opinion, even research, solid research. We can't trust words in order for us to offer advice to the leader of the free world. We gonna go, everything we say is gonna be backed by some kind of, Omar, say it for me. What is it? A number. We going to him with numbers. So somebody giving him advice saw for the first time last month that the majority of Americans now are not supporting Israel. There's a U.S. soldier, sir, who set himself on fire. Listen to me. A U.S. soldier in uniform set himself on fire to protest some stuff that he see going on over there. We don't even talk about that, because if we gave a progressive a platform, like a progressive like me, who had knowledge on a whole lot of stuff, they could dismantle your whole argument. So I don't even listen to a lot of stuff they say on the left, because I got some Muslims that are close friends, and they're not Muslims like you think of Muslims. They're American Muslims, just as American as you. They're Americanized, too Americanized. And they got some certain opinions of you, sir. So I'm saying, like, we go to Dearborn, BB, go do a speech in Dearborn, Michigan. I'll go to Dearborn. I just came from there. What's the most conservative city in America? Ghostwriter go there. Ghostwriter gonna go to Connecticut. We talking about blue, super blue. Ain't no red nowhere. Ain't no red nowhere. Ain't nothing but blue. Even rural areas, they bleeding blue. And when Ghostwriter go over there, Ghostwriter's gonna be doing stories in support of Big President T. I'ma speak the truth. If the man trying to work on peace and unity, like, I'm not affected by none of that stuff. I'ma speak the truth. I'm not affected by BB's power at all. And what he capable of. I'm not scared of nobody. Like I said yesterday, that man himself ain't finna come to me face to face and do nothing besides have respect. I'm saying him in front of me without no security guards. You know what I'm saying? Without no security guards, by himself, that old man, I will make that old man have some respect. Just like I got respect for him. You can't beat me up. You can't outthink me. You ain't out smarter than me, because if you was, you wouldn't have fought that war like that. Once I stumped a mile after President Trump bombed Iran, it would have looked totally different. I would have moved different. I wouldn't have moved for clout. I would have moved for victory. I would have got them hostages without President Trump or America, because I got bread and I'm smart. And I know them fools want money. And you got the drop on them. So it's like common sense. Ain't none of these leaders street dudes. But I ain't saying on the street, I got experience out there. You know what I'm saying? We done gave some people some money one time, and we rode around the corner, and as soon as he walked by us, we snatched the bag back from him. And if he a terrorist, you ain't got to just snatch your money back. You could snatch his life from him. You just got to know what you're doing. The Messiah, put one of them aside, put one of them in power. I bet you they know what they doing. They know what the language goes speaking about. I would have been got them hostages back without the political fanfare, without the nations of the world. You the leader of Israel. Without the United States, I don't see how you going to exist. So what's going to happen with a Democrat takeover? Because the majority of the people, when they look at them numbers I was talking about and they see them polls, this is the first time this has happened. So that's why even President Trump, somebody going to President Trump and saying, yes, sir, the majority of the American public, most of the people in the world, and in Europe, the polls are a lot worse because they're a lot more left and they're a lot more liberal. And Europe, you want to talk about, because I'm saying, I'm just saying, man, that's just what it is. It's just facts. I'm saying, like, I mean, to me, for you to do anything against a whole race of people, what would we call that? What's the word to do something against a race of people? That's not your enemies. If those women and children don't have guns, they're not your enemies. They could be the wives and the mothers of your enemies, but they're not your enemies. Your enemies are the people who have guns. You know, there's some people that in Hamas who are more Israeli leaning, but they can't come out. I mean, more Palestinians. It's a different world over there. Be to understand that. You can't just, I'm gonna kill them all. Nah, you reading something in the Old Testament and you misinterpreting that. That's not what God's telling you to do today. But he might not believe in Jesus, but that's not what Jesus told us to do. That's not what Jesus do. I'm saying I pray to Jesus. And yes, God, that Abraham's, yes, Isaac, Jacob, yes, BB, your heritage lineage, yes, that's the same God. That don't mean nothing if you wrong. If you wrong, that don't mean nothing. And I know Ghost is not wrong. Ain't nobody told you not to keep the people of Israel safe. What we said, sir, is do not kill and starve women and children. Ain't no scripture in the New Testament gave you rights to do that. Period. If you saying that Hamas can continually come back, that's true. They've done that. How am I pandering? Who hadn't seen that? Hamas continually destroy Israel. And before President Trump went over there and kicked the supreme leader in his front teeth, he would continually come on TV and say death to Israel and death to America. We ain't heard from him in a minute. Have any of y'all heard from the supreme leader in a minute? We ain't heard from her in a minute. So I'm saying BB obviously got the ups. His argument is that he don't want to give them an opportunity to rebuild because he know they will rebuild. You can't say I'm pandering because I understand that. That makes perfect sense. But what I'm saying is, the way you solve that problem without having the whole world to keep doing this to you, because this your problem. It's not what Ghostwriter's saying is right now, it's not your problem. Ghostwriter is just simply shining a light to this and showing this if you don't already know it, or you might know it, you might try to be ignoring it, and I'm telling you it's bigger problem than what you think, because we closer to the end than what you think, and so we want to give ourselves some more time, right? So what you do is to keep them from walking out. How you keep them from walking out is that all you had to do after President Trump dropped them bomb will leave them police dead. Not no going taking stuff. You only run offensives when you going after Hamas. You only chasing Hamas. You should have let President Obama, which you don't like because a liberal, but he did this successfully. President Obama chased terrorists and he killed them. He didn't completely extinguish them, but he got them very weak for President Trump to do what he did and President Biden to withdraw. In Afghanistan, we hadn't had a problem. Ain't nobody celebrates this, but we hadn't had a problem. Who has heard from a problem in Afghanistan? Don't come on here telling me about the problems they have, because every nation in the world got problems. I'm saying, how many terrorist organizations from Afghanistan blowing up buildings right now? America, that's how you fix that. So, BB, you could get some advice from Americans, not just buying their weapons. I know y'all run drills together. You might want to back out the way with your plans and let some of them American generals, because they understand politics better. Because politics in America with 340 million people is more complicated than politics in Israel with 10 million people with the same major objective to survive. That's why they tolerate you for so long. They ain't gonna tolerate you like that in America, because we not trying to survive, we running stuff. So the mentalities are different of the people. I'm trying to help you, sir. I know what I'm talking about. And just like I told you the same thing 3 weeks ago, and you went up there to the UN and speak, and the whole world started walking out while you talking. Ain't nobody care about no conservative right wing or no money that you got to spend or no bullets that you might have to send at somebody. All we talking about is when you got up there and talked 3 weeks after Ghost said that the whole world got up and started walking out while you was talking. The whole world. While y'all over here supporting this and supporting that, I got common sense and I'm supporting too, but God gave me something to see something else, and I saw the world walking out on him while he talking. Just leave your police force there, bro. Leave your police force there. Don't you control the Israeli police? Take your military back and put your police there. Put a robust police force. And the only killing that you should be doing is terrorist. Do you want me to define a terrorist? It's not a woman who married to a terrorist who might be supporting him to go kill Israelis. You still can't kill her, or you in violation of international law. And if you keep doing that stuff, them Europeans ain't so forgiving, sir. BB, go to Europe. BB, you got a problem with me? Come meet me in London right now. What's going to happen to you? See, BB, I come from a different place than you do. I could play the game different. Come meet me in London, BB. You can't go to London. I could go to London. You can't go to Italy, BB. You so strong and powerful, you can't go to Italy. Go to Spain right now. What's going to happen to you? You're going to see a bunch of white trucks and they're going to pull up and your security force going to have a whole problem and they outnumber you. If you brought 1,000 people with you, you talking about all of Europe, they're going to outnumber you and they're going to put handcuffs on you on national TV. And he can't go over there because they said he an international criminal. That's not what I'm saying, sir. I'm just saying that President Trump ain't going to be there to protect you for long. And you're going to get yourself in a position to where you can't come back. Because they already turning on you and they fading on you. You look like a bully. I understand your cause and your point, but I'm telling you, everybody don't think like me. And on the world stage, you look like a bully. And and some of them ain't gonna want, they're gonna label you a bully and they ain't gonna want to deal with Israel till you up out of there. And Israel might want to keep you there. And there might be a problem. And it might not be nothing ghostwriter could do or say. That might just be what's finna happen, but you can't negate the truth of what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Mr. Omar. They can't negate the truth of what I'm saying. That's an unbiased facts. And the people who follow the content like Omar, he was here when I made the case because he told me to dump on President Trump. And I said, nah. Because President Trump had made his way back to this thing. He got so much stuff going on, but he just made his way back to BB. And when he made his way back to BB, he had a 21-point plan done that BB agreed to. But I'm just commenting on what I seen down in the chat. I'm not trying to make fun of him for facing corruption charges, even though that's facts. His argument for why he keeping the war going on, even though Omar might disagree with it, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, even though his own people is accusing him of corruption. None of that is relevant to me. That's all political stuff. What's relevant to me is you don't get up there and quote no scriptures while you starving women and children. That's facts. Because if you keep doing that walking out, I'm telling you, I think it's Cambodia or one of them countries, they promised 20,000 troops. Them people like me keep coming up to President Trump. Look, this is how God works. You can't control this. This cannot be controlled. It's just the spirit of all the people collectively. They just start doing stuff and it gets spooky. And them advisors gonna start coming to President Trump, BB. They don't care about how much money you giving and everything, because they see what's going on. Like people like Ted Cruz and them, they understand the game. They see a little bit deeper than you and your dollar bills. And they say, hey, man. I'm talking about you get an army so big, the only thing you're gonna be able to do is press a nuclear button because you cannot beat them. God said, come in like the sands of the sea, bruh. Read your Bible. That ain't me talking. Open up Revelations and read it, boy. You don't have to believe it. It don't matter because you don't believe it. What's that matter? Because you don't believe something, what's that matter? That don't change because it's true or not. You got to understand your opinion is one thing and the truth is something totally different. Just like your mama car is one thing and your car is totally different. They got close relations, but they different. So that's how the truth is and your opinion is. Because you don't believe something, man. I believe revelations. And I understand what the Bible's saying and what God's trying to say. And I'm not saying I'm up here preaching and no prophecy. All I'm saying is because I've read Revelations and I'm seeing all of the world. Y'all go look this up on YouTube. Go Google it. The world delegation walks out the General Assembly. When he giving a speech, he giving a speech to 12 nations. And it's 100 and how many, 200, how many nations in there? How many people? The whole world, mass exodus when he got up and started talking. That's because Ghostwriter know what I'm talking about. I broke down the analysis. The world delegation who got up, I'm glad it happened. Not that it happened, but to make this example, the world delegation, the ones that got up, those are the people who I gave an example 3 weeks ago, excuse me. They're friends, okay? So look, I'm a guy and I got a bully who keep picking on me, okay? Israel is me and the bully is Iran. And the world delegation are 10 people who watch it, like in school. Meet me outside. Meet me outside. That's Israel and Iran and the world watching. I got my big homeboy, the United States. They standing there, they kind of just watching. And you get into the dude bigger than you, a bully. He keep picking on you and you would beat him up. I'm talking about Netanyahu. I salute you. I'm a true person. Netanyahu, you've been waiting for America to bomb Iran for how many years? I heard a speech you gave in what? The 80s? Nah, it couldn't have been the 80s. Was it 1998? Yeah, it probably was 1998 when you was calling on the bombing of Iran for such and such and so and so. And you asked every American president to do it, and you got it done, Netanyahu. Not only that, you scored some beautiful victories against Hamas. With the beepers, the cell phone, you had the whole world laughing with you. Am I lying or not? How long gets you talking about mismanaging the conflict? You probably don't want to match smarts with me. I'm not that dude over there. He just trying to argue, debate and stuff. I'm not that. I'm telling you your future. He wasn't doing this. I'm the one that come. You want to start quoting scriptures? Eli, tiki yo faso. Yeah, start quoting them scriptures, okay? So look, Netanyahu, just a couple months ago, the whole world was with you now. We were laughing with you while you was bombing Hamas, right? With the beepers, y'all following me? So he over there, America, his big friend, he finally got his friend to come over there while he had him on the ropes. He had him on the ropes. Hey, come get you a lick, America. Show the whole world, come get you a lick. Come drop some weapons the world on God. And America came over there and kicked him in the teeth. So now your opponent, listen to me, y'all. Look, over there, he's sitting over right now, he bloody. America kicked him in the teeth, he bloody. Laid out. And the whole world see this. Even President Trump had to tell you to chill with Iran. BB, come on now. We talking about character now. President Trump, am I right or wrong? He had to call him and tell him what he doing, bro. Chill out. Like, chill out. So let's say so world watching. The world, the people getting up and I'm telling you what they thinking. I got the ability to do that. You understand that? Because I told you 3 weeks ago before they started doing it. And I ain't got no line to no world leader. That's ludicrous. I'm not a lunatic. But I could just see this stuff. So look, so he got his friend beaten up and bloody. America then went over and stood down. So nobody thinking nothing about America. President Trump, he's smart. He a good politician. Whether you like him or not, he a businessman and he got back to doing business, man. That's what you supposed to do. Because we were scared for a minute. But yeah, okay, smart dude. He went back but we didn't let that roll off our shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And halfway started supporting him and doing it because it looked good what he did. But then look, so Israel's still over here. And okay, they still chasing Hamas and still burning stuff and still killing people. Okay, ain't nobody really got a problem. Then hold on a second. You know what I'm saying? And I said this before to the people. Know I said this before, but I said it as far as part of immigration. I said that they play those left-leaning media. They play those images of women and children being separated, and that's how they change the opinion of America. Because when the opinion of the majority of people change on you, whether you listen to the people or not, Ghostwriter here to tell you you're going to have a problem. It's just brewing. So listen, so while he got his opponent down, America came and stomped on him already. We just back here chilling. We not really that hard on it, but we kind of softly observing the situation, okay? And this is what happened. We put our glasses on and we look on TV and we see some women and children, Palestinian, they starving. What? Hold on a second, BB. Hold on, brother. I ain't against you. Just, I ain't no yes man. I'm going to help you. I'm one of your advisors. I'm here to help you, my brother. How many months or weeks has it been since America did the bombing? So listen, okay, so your biggest worry was that somebody could use a nuclear weapon on you, BB, and we know for a fact today that tomorrow ain't no Muslim about to use a nuclear weapon on your country. Not today or tomorrow. We know that for a fact. So you got you pass a little of that fright, right? You got the Israeli people a little safer, right? So I'm saying you still got a problem with Hamas probably circling around and coming back. So I understand that. But when you start starving them women and children, buddy, hold up. That's when the world said, hold up a second. What? I'm saying the American soldier was over there seeing something that I don't know what he was seeing, but he poured gasoline on himself and set himself on fire. How many of us heard about that? So people been protesting the war. That ain't like that's a new thing. But I'm saying when we see them women and kids starving and news agencies saying that you blocking food for them, that ain't got nothing to do with no Republican. That ain't got nothing to do with no Democrat. That's got something to do with something that I'm trying to teach you. That's above greedy politics. It's called humanity. It's called survival of a species. You want me to educate you? I'll roll my sleeves up. We'll get above politics for a minute. You know what I'm saying? This the ACLU part of me coming out. I got a bunch of hats, man. Humanity, man. You can't, your will to win, your personal will to win is not more important than those Palestinians' humanity. The Palestinians who are attacking you, they are trying to end your humanity. So you are defending your humanity. But those women and children are no threats to your humanity. So you don't pick up a gun to go try to kill them. You try to starve them. No, sir. That's why you don't have to listen to me. But keep on trying to talk and do business with the world and the whole world while you getting up. They right now they just walking away. But I'm saying if you don't keep, it's gonna get worse. I done read the end, bro. I'm on here on GPS. You listening to people who ain't got no roadmap. They don't even believe in God. They don't know what's going on. I'm not that smart. I just know government. I know a little bit about history, and I got a Bible. It's a simple mathematics. You just got to know how to cross them together and see the picture. I don't have no opinion in the situation. I don't care nothing about Hamas, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm a true person, and I don't want to have to say this. But the truth of the matter is, I really don't care nothing about no Palestinians. I'm not no better than you. I'm not no bleeding heart liberal. I'll tell you the truth if you ask me. I don't care nothing about none of that. But as a normal person who I am, who study politics, if you give me that picture, I'm going to tell you that's what that is. You looking like a bully. Supporting Israel, loving the Israeli people, and loving God, and you looking like a bully. I'm that dude. That's why people don't like me. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's facts. I'ma just give them the truth, man. That ain't no rent. That ain't tirade. People asked, they got on the check, and I wanted to speak about it. I'm saluting President Trump as the people of Israel are calling out to President Trump. Again, something else BB said is that President Trump has been the best and biggest friend of Israel, and that's facts. If you ask me personally, I probably would feel safer if BB was the Prime Minister of Israel. He's very experienced in his position as a type of warlord, sort of like Zelensky is. But BB is much more than that, because Israel has been a player on the world stage for a lot longer in recent history. You know what I'm saying? As an independent nation in recent history. So, I don't know, BB. I'm trying to help you out, bro. You do it how you want to do it. All I know, I don't see how you survive without the United States. If America turn against you, man, you rolling the dice with that. You depending on one leader in one nation. What happened if America not the superpower no more? You gonna depend on Putin or China? Y'all listen to this. I mean, it's common sense, but a lot of people don't think like this. America is over here, right? America's the superpower. America determines the world order. That is under threat and attack right now, with Vladimir Putin trying to redraw lines. And the end of that conversation hasn't been settled with Crimea. Because if he keeps Crimea, he just changed the world order silently. Y'all might not understand it. That's what you got me for. That hasn't happened since the end of the world wars. You understand that? So I'm saying America is keeping Israel safe. God, yes, primarily to that time. And he's using America as the tool to do that. Okay? So what I'm saying is, you got China and Russia. They're challenging America's power. And you have another prospect that the American president becomes a Democrat that does not support Israel or standing with Israel. They don't have to, the American president don't have to support attacking Israel. They could just say, hey, we ain't got nothing to do with it. We hear Republicans saying that right now. We hear people very next to who got President Trump's ear. Some people who put in President Trump's cabinet, we know they got his ear. I mean, I would say Marco Rubio, yeah, he outranks them, and Marco Rubio got all the right views on everything. I don't care if you support him or not. All his right views are the right views as far as military-wise or the way America's roll on the stage. Marco is right. But I'm saying some people got President Trump's ear that'll say, hey, that ain't our war. That ain't our war. Well, we support that ain't our war, and slowly fading out the picture. Israel, you can't afford that. So I'm saying if this happens and America ain't the power, I'm saying now Russia is the power over on this side of the world. America say they fine. Some people, the isolationists, right, y'all? Just as long as you don't come over here to South America or North America, not on this side of the world. Greenland, we're going to split the world in Greenland. That's why it's so important. And Europe got a third, and we're going to give a third of the world to the devil. I'm sorry, Vladimir. I'm sorry. It's just the facts. We're going to give a third of the world to Lucifer. You know the scriptures? Yeah, a third. That's the third. That's the third part. That he trying. It's politicians. This ain't no conspiracy theorists. I'm not no Ellis Jones. There's politicians standing right next to President Trump, and y'all know that, who believe in this. And it's in the Bible. So, America has backed off. and Israel and this peace in the world, and you done gave a third, y'all done split up, came with a theory, and guess who a part of your third, Israel? Who running your third? Oh, Vladimir Putin, he running your third. And you know who's sitting right next to him right now in a chair somewhere in Russia? The supreme leader of Iran. Bibi, he's sitting right next to Vladimir. And the only thing keeping you is America. That's it. And I'm saying, you feeling good, President Trump. God forbid if J.D. Vance was the president of the United States tomorrow. Tomorrow, same United States, different president, J.D. Vance. Say before that happened, President Trump get a peace deal and Putin ain't fighting no more, wars no more. He at peace now. And J.D. Vance become president, and you got the supreme leader. You think he done forgot what you did to him? Has he ever forgot? Have the Muslims ever, especially that Ayatollah in Iran right now, I'm talking about right now, has he ever forgot, Bibi, what you done to him? And you already know he's sitting there with China and Russia. They all sitting there together. If they bring India with them, who can defeat that? You got 1.4 billion people and 1.5 billion people together with Russia. Who could beat that? That's the end of the world. You can't fight. NATO ain't that strong. That's realistically, you ain't got enough bullets. That's crazy. That's why India, importantly, is a geopolitical ally. You got to bite the bullet in dealing in this situation because you got to understand chess and strategy. And if you don't understand chess and strategy, then it's just what it is. But what I'm telling you is the best advice anybody could give you. Ain't nobody in Israel, BB, could give you advice this good, I don't think. Maybe so. Messiah got ears on the ground, political. But if they do, I know you got a lot of voices in the Messiah telling you exactly what I'm telling you. It's just, don't say that you keeping Israel safe like there's only one way to keep Israel safe. Some of us ain't stupid. You got about 15 ways you could choose, and you choosing the way you choosing. And ain't nobody hating on that. We just saying that it's about time to choose a different way. That's all we saying. What I'm saying wrong? I don't hate Israel. That's crazy. Who hates Israel? I don't think if somebody dislike Israel, I don't think it's because like what you hear people say racist stuff. That's racist stupid people. We're not talking about racist stupid people. I'm talking about people, normal people, like a mama or his daughter at a grocery store, and you stop and ask them a political question. Ain't nobody care nothing about if he a Israel or Jew or Hebrew. Not no normal person, and a Christian to be in your favor. If they understand what's going on, they ain't nobody against you or hating on nothing. That's not what I'm doing. I'm telling you why this happened. Soon as you get up there and start speaking, they waiting though. They got it all planned. Hey, you think they just walking out on their own behind? Somebody just saw BB and they said, "Oh, I'm gonna walk out." Indonesia walking out, and as Indonesia walking out, you think Brazil and them started looking and said, I think we gonna walk." Nah, that ain't how that happened. They was sitting there waiting for you. They had time to sit before they could have been left. They could have let you come speak in front of 4.5 people that ain't staffed. In America. They could have let you speak in front of 4.5 people that ain't staffed in America, but they didn't do that. They sat there and waited from after the last speaker because they want to show you how they feel about what you talking about. And we're going to wait till you get right up to the microphone. And as soon as he grabbed the microphone, okay, y'all, we all look at each other. It's time. This is how the whole world feel about what you're talking about, BB, because we're not agreeing with that. And the only reason we can't stop you because you got America, and they too scared to challenge. They ain't unified like that yet. But BRICS, they've been trying for a minute, but they ain't unified or they got the gall yet. That's all I'm saying. You could say I'm hating on BB. You could say whatever you want to say. I don't care. What I'm saying, keep on talking. Keep doing what you're doing. Just don't go give no world speeches no more. Because if you do, it ain't going to look good. They're going to keep walking out. I hope they don't start sending armies like some of them Asian nations proclaiming. Because some of them Asian nations are Muslim, bro. They don't like that. It's just not bro, listen, I know it is, yeah, but you just can't fight no war. Like, I don't know what's be wrong with these dudes, bro. Like, you just really, about 3-4 years, bro, you need to put an expiration date on that war. Man, we've been over here 4 years. We spent all this money. It ain't looking good. What's the purpose for us staying to fight the war? Okay, we got to keep our people safe. Your people are safer today than they ever been. Listen to me. And you know everything I'm saying is true. Your people is safer today than they've been in 20 years. But your actions is making them unsafe as the world turn around and walk out against you. But your people are safe. If you saying your major threat is from Iran, then your people are safer than they have been in 20 years. This is the weakest Iran has been in decades. Instead of celebrating Israel and the victory, because you can't stop kicking your opponent when they on the ground. Who's speaking next? Nah, we ain't gonna leave yet. We gonna wait though. We gonna wait till he get to the microphone. So we wanna make a stop. Oh, he at the mic now, okay. Hold up, we gonna wait. I'm talking about, bro, they were filing out. Tens of people. I'm saying, you know how discouraging and heart-wrenching that's gotta be for you. You keep on saying you don't care. I'm telling you that's what happened. Y'all go back and look at Muammar Gaddafi speaking to the UN. You don't think Muammar Gaddafi spoke as a leader to the UN before? At one time or before? You got to see Mine Tike Yufasu. You don't think that Saddam Hussein at one time spoke to the UN before? Then people start walking out against you, bro. That's not no good sign. And then I look at a poll in America and the American people turn against you. So don't let the Democrats bring you out some young candidate, some Zoran Mandami that ain't that left, that we don't know nothing about, that's like a Barack Obama that's going to catch on fire and he don't like Israel. Because they're going to look at the polls and they're going to have justification for not supporting you. For the first time, the majority of Americans, they're not on your side. I'm on your side, sir. I don't want nothing to happen to you or the people of Israel whatsoever, nothing at all. I just think you need to responsibly end that war and get them charges that your people that they charging you with. You need to responsibly end that war and get them charges your people charging you with. Go and face them charges. See there, man, I ain't no corruption. That was a hoax. That was not a Russian hoax. That's a corruption hoax. Get them charges off you and responsibly end that war and get the morale for Israel good with the people so we could see you go at the next UN General Assembly. I don't even care if you're still in power. The next time you go up and address the General Assembly, we don't have to see the nations of the world walking out when Israel's speaking. We want to see everybody still sitting down when Israel's speaking. How many of them walked out when Iran was speaking? Think about that, bro. How many walked out when Bangladesh or the Philippines or Taiwan or China or even Vladimir Zelensky? How many people walked out when Zelensky was speaking? Did the Russian delegation walk out, y'all? I'm saying Zelensky been fighting a war for how many years? Longer than Netanyahu. But how many people walking out? How many people the world, they against Zelensky? Who in the world against Zelensky? Name the nation that's against Zelensky. and he been fighting a war for a war that needs to end, you could say, oh, well, the world look like he getting picked on by Russia. Well, you get my point, huh? You get where I'm coming from, huh? You might not look at it like that. America been looked at like a bully on the world stage, but America is 340 million people and Israel is 10 million people. America has the third largest nation in the world in land mass, and Israel probably in the hundreds, biggest Florida, a little bigger than Florida. America has the strongest military in the world, and Israel is buying American weapons. America have more people in the reserves than Israel have in the whole military. America has what, 14, 13 aircraft carriers? The closest nation in the world close to America got 2 or 3 aircraft carriers. You're not America. America has weapons that when you need a bomb drop, you got to call somebody to get a bomb drop. You can't even fight your own fight. You got to get somebody, you got to call, because ain't nobody in the world could do this but one nation. So if I was this nation, I'd be walking around doing like I want to. America could say what they want to do. They big dogs. You know, if you go fight the big dog, they've been and flipped you. Putin don't want no smoke over here. Xi Jinping don't either. They just want to do what they want to in their backyard without America sitting there with Marines surrounding you, telling you that what you ain't going to do and are going to do with people you calling your people. It's like America over there in Canada, this America in Canada, and America over there in Canada telling them, hey, you ain't doing nothing. They over there dictating in their country. It's so many Russians live in Ukraine. They just didn't turn on Ukraine. They would rather Ukraine be a free nation, the ones in Ukraine. That's why Putin can't take it. Otherwise, he would have been had it. They would have backdoored Zelensky. Ain't nobody backdoor Zelensky. The Americans are, and others are helping keep them safe. That's just the game, man. That's how I feel, man. That's my time, though, y'all. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours. I really just wanted to come on here and talk about President Trump, giving him kudos for meeting with the Democrats, for sitting down with the Democrats, man. That's sweet, I think. You know what I'm saying? That shows unity and bipartisanship. And that was my main purpose, just to sit down and give President Trump some kudos for doing that. But, you know, in the meantime, while giving him kudos, we started talking about him talking to BB. You feel what I'm saying? And when he talked to BB said that they were going to work out a peace deal. He agreed to a 20-point deal. So agreeing to the deal, I'm saying, hey, that sounds good. I'm saying BB the whole time, though, has been against Hamas, which no one is against. In my opinion, like the whole world want Palestinians to have a government, but to me, it's like you want regime change in Iran, you need regime change in the Palestinian. This is what I'm saying. I don't know if BB is hip to this. I'm saying I would have, you know how America sets up puppet governments? I'm saying my goal wouldn't have been necessarily to bomb Iran. I know it'd probably been hard to do this because Iran had more strength at that time. But my goal, I would have been trying to set who he got running the Palestinians. That's the problem. What is the Palestinians part of Hamas? Is the Palestinians part of Iran? I'm saying that's the problem. The Palestinian Authority is the issue. It's not Hamas, because I don't think there's no nation, while he's sitting there giving a speech, no nation who got up and walked out. There's not one of those nations who was saying that Hamas is a good organization. Not one nation in the world who walked out on him while he was speaking is saying Hamas is a good organization. Why they walked out is because of his handling of the Palestinian Authority in that situation with Palestine having their own state. I never gave an opinion on Palestine having a state. That's where I differ with the leftists across the world. If Palestine is given a state or given area or given land, and you're going to keep the Palestinian Authority there, what I'm saying is is I don't trust the leadership in that current Palestinian Authority. I would have tried to do something with that leadership to where you could have new leadership there. But I guess for some reason it's too complicated. It's more complicated than that. So that's not what's going on right there. Then so I'm saying if the Palestinians have to remain in that land, if they have to, if President Trump in his deal, I think America supports a Palestinian state. I'm not in that part. I'm saying I'm in the peace part. But I'm saying if the Palestinians have to stay there, then the Israeli police, not the military, not starving women and kids, not killing women and kids, the Israeli police, singularity, hunt down the terrorists. If you need help doing that, President Obama did that. The CIA knows how to do that. Hunt down the terrorists individually. Israel have a list of terrorists. The Mossad is probably just as good as the CIA. The Mossad got representatives in every nation on earth. Israel got probably one of the best intelligence agencies in the world. That intelligence agency, you get on the knee to them almost. Real talk. I know what I'm talking about. The Mossad is one of the best intelligence agencies in the world. So it's other way. You can't act like you got one way to fight a war. You got 15 ways to fight that war. So I'm saying, however you fighting it right now, the world is walking out when you speaking. They turning against you. That's facts. Now, the rest of this we could talk about, y'all, for the rest of the day. It's opinions. I'm not ranting. I'm not raving. That ain't no Kanye stuff. Everything I said is facts. He went to the UN General Assembly and almost every nation in the world got up while he was speaking. That's a sign and a show of disrespect. What can they do about it? You had nations getting up there offering to send troops to Palestine, but I'm saying you got Big President T. Who gonna challenge Big President T? You ain't trying to get America mad for several reasons. It's not just that you worried about their guns, you worried about them not doing business with you. America could choose not to do business with you and you could go bankrupt. You could go broke. Look at the Canadian economy because President Trump put them tariffs on. You see what I'm saying? He could get you in 1,000 ways. He ain't just got a gun, he got the money too. That's what America is on the world stage. But I'm saying if you dependent, or not just dependent, if I was BB, I would want like two things. I would want to clear my name and vindicate my name. And he might be like, Ghost, that's what I'm going to do. Eventually, if you give me some time, I'm going to come clear and I'm going to vindicate my name. But I would want to clear and vindicate my name. But most importantly, is I would want to keep the people of Israel safe. And I feel like not only by killing Hamas, you're going to constantly be chasing Hamas. He's saying he want to extinguish them and get rid of them. I don't think that's never going to happen. That's my personal opinion. Maybe not Hamas. Maybe you could do that with a group called Hamas. That's what America, maybe you could do that with a group called Al-Qaeda. But then after Al-Qaeda, you get ISIS. So you could do that with one group, but it's the ideology you got to kill, and you're not killing the ideology, and the ideology then came back and then it raised up, and now you got a problem. You got a big problem. And that's what I'm saying. And I think President Trump is wise enough to see that. He's wise enough to heed that advice. But I'm saying, BB, for whatever reason, man, I just pray that you do too. You know what I'm saying? Ernest, you still up in here though, ain't you? You know what I'm saying? You expect to give me a response, Ernest. I can't get a response to what y'all saying, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all up in here like children, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm pouring out my heart about some real stuff. And I just know that it's gonna get to the right ears. Y'all, that's my time, man. I'm about to get up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm still out here in the Finger Lakes, man. Today, Tuesday, man, so we ain't got the rest of too much more time before I'm going to go explore for a little bit. I ain't saying really explore. I'm going to just move to a different location. You know what I'm saying? Visiting places that I ain't never visited before, bro. And I'm 45 years old, man. That's what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, y'all coming to the end, that end part, the last hour or so was freestyle. So the first hour, President Trump had 2 meetings yesterday. The first meeting, he met with the Democrats, you know what I'm saying? And so the first hour of the stream, we went over there. I did some research, told him the importance of bipartisanship, you know what I'm saying? And then for the second hour, you know, that was completely freestyle. That was President Trump's second meeting yesterday. He met with Bibi Netanyahu. I just want to say, man, like, you know, I think President Trump at this time, you know, especially those meetings, I want to commend those meetings, him focusing on peace, Israel's peace, you know what I'm saying? I want to salute President Trump, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, reaching out, reaching across the aisle, working with Democrats, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that'll grow to something bigger. And I want to salute him also for recognizing that war with Israel really needs to come to an end. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I feel like it's hurting Israel's cause more to continue fighting a war. I mean, houses and taking places and areas, maybe he got to do that to get Hamas. But to me, like, America, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got troops in Gaza and you're going to keep them in Gaza. Really, all you got to do now is just go after those individual terrorists. Maybe it's more difficult or complicated than that. That's my time, man. I love y'all. That's why I can never be against Israel, man. Because what I'm finna tell you, I believe Jesus Christ, man, he died and suffered, died on the cross for my sins. You know what I'm saying? I believe he was buried and he rose again after 3 days. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that. I prayed to God. I asked him to forgive me of my sins. I believe that Jesus Christ, the blood that he shed, it washes away my sins. I believe Jesus is the lineage of the Hebrews, as the Bible teaches. You know what I'm saying? And I believe the Hebrews in Israel, maybe not all of them, but the majority of them, I believe are the Hebrews in the Bible and are God's children. That being said, man, like, you know, having a relationship with God, I get in situations bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Every time I do, I don't worry about the haters. I just take that situation and I'll lay it at God's feet. The way I do it is prayer. I get on my knees and I pray. I ask God to forgive me, you know what I'm saying? Or if I'm in a situation to where I need his help, I ask him to help me, you know what I'm saying? When I get up from that, I'm not worried about it no more. I believe he handles it. I believe he takes care of it. Man, I wake up every day thankful. I believe if you're thankful, regardless of what your situation is, in the end, it's going to multiply. And I end each day and say, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, man. Look how beautiful that is, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Y'all get out there and live your life. You can't listen to no hater, man. You only live one life, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I never in my life let money stop me from doing nothing, bro. And you shouldn't either, man. Get out there and live, man. Bro, I love every last one of y'all. I appreciate y'all's support. We live tomorrow again, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, man, I'll see y'all later. Take care.